Let me at 'em!
Well, there it is. Hi guys, and welcome to a reaction video for the Warcraft movie trailer that was shown to us at BlizzCon 2015. So I'm going to be showing you some of the Warcraft free cinematics in case you're curious as to what you're looking at whilst I discuss my reactions. So what is Warcraft? For those of you that don't know, well, Warcraft is a movie that is going to be based on the original game, Warcraft 1. That was brought to us by Blizzard in 1994, so quite a while ago now, as you might imagine. So the Warcraft movie, directed by Duncan Jones and brought to us by Legendary Pictures alongside Blizzard Entertainment, as they've been working hand in hand to try to get the real feel of what Warcraft 1 was all about, is going to be looking pretty good, I must say. But before I get into, any more of my thoughts, we're going to go on to the plot. So the general plot, according to Wiki, is this for the Warcraft movie. Azeroth stands on the brink of war as its civilization, led by the humans, faces a fearsome race of invaders. Orc warriors flee in their dying world, Draenor, to find their place in another, as a portal opens to connect the two worlds, known as the Dark Portal. The humans face destruction while the Orcs face extinction. Anduin Lothar, leader of the humans, and Durotan, leader of the Orcs, are then sent on a collision course that will decide the fate of their family, their people, and their home, in which war has many faces and everyone fights for something. Well, there it is, eh? There it is. So generally speaking, if that isn't so clear, because you can tell that's a little different to how the Warcraft 1 works. It's kind of based on it, but basically Warcraft 1 is around the era of, the Orcs. They were in Draenor, the world's kind of dying, it seems bad. The demonic influence of the Burning Legion basically speak through to Gul'dan, and I think Medivh goes over there as well through the portal, and the idea is that the Orcs go to a new home full of new resources and such that they can basically thrive, and that's the home of the humans, Azeroth. So Gul'dan leads the Orcs, those that are willing, with the blood of the Manoroth, or like the Burning Legion, to sort of like boost up the Orcs. That's where you get the green Orcs. So the native Orcs are the brown Orcs, and the green Orcs are the ones that are influenced by the demonic energies. But even the native ones that don't touch or drink the blood can still be affected by the actual sort of like just being around the atmosphere of it, if you know what I mean. So long story short, Gul'dan alongside Black Hand, sort of like Black Hand's the leader of the Orcs, and but kind of Gul'dan's sort of like manipulating behind the scenes really, and they go and invade Azeroth, and the humans then have to basically deal with this issue. And not all of the Orcs are bad. Some of them, belonging to the Frostwolf clan in particular, such as the Durotan, our hero, so to speak, of this story, is a good guy, and he just wants a home for his people. He doesn't want no ruckus, no trouble. He just wants a place to live for him, his wife, his family, and most important, his son, the baby green Jesus, who they left Moses style into the weeds in the river and the weed basket to take away the wee little green Jesus that is Thrall. And that's probably going to be told in another story. If this movie is successful, I imagine that you're probably going to get that story either in the next one or possibly the next one after that, because technically you've got Warcraft 2 coming up after this. Because if this is based on Warcraft 1, then you've got Warcraft 2, and then Thrall is basically the main protagonist of Warcraft 3. So, as to my reactions of the movie, they are highly positive. I really, really enjoyed basically just the aesthetics, the looks of it, but I did jokingly think that it was almost like a cross between Avatar and, dare I say, John Carter. Specifically the scenes with the Orcs and Durotar, just the... He's just looking around the area. I just say, hey, this is John Carter too, isn't it? And that's not something you want to hear. So I'm only joking around with that kind of stuff. So take it for, good hindsight, I suppose. Hopefully a warning sign for Blizzard. Don't make it like that. So what else can I say about it? Well, it looks really freaking awesome. Like the aesthetics, the character models, the costume design. It's pretty much spot on to how the Orcs look. They look really badass, bulky, and at the same time quite realistic. And I don't know how they managed to pull that off, because if you've ever been a fan of, well, Blizzard's art style for Warcraft, you might notice that the heroes and the units, even the human ones, are so disproportionate to how a human can realistically look. Even, the orcs are like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was on steroids at his peak, on steroids on top of that. So it's quite funny, but it actually does look quite realistic, as far as one can look in this kind of universe. So I want to go over bits of the trailer now, so feel free to watch the trailer as well. And obviously there'll be links in the video description to the actual trailer itself. So it starts off with the Griffin riding around, and I think that's Dalaran, but I'm not entirely sure. You got the Griffin looking all snazzy as he drops down, and then it looks like our human protagonist. I'm just going to look up some of the cast and the crew here. So no, Dominic Cooper is the King Rin, so he's going to be the dude that's just basically sitting in his chair, having a go at everyone all the time, telling them to deal with the orc problems whilst he sits in his chair. Travis Fimmel, playing Anduin Lothar, is probably the guy that is riding the Griffin, and I assume he's going to try and approach Khadgar, who is in that wizard tower. I could be completely wrong, so this is well and truly up to you guys to let me know in the comment section below where I am wrong and what you think of the movie as well. So feel free to correct me by any means necessary. I will not take any offense at all. I'm just saying this as I see it, and I did a little bit of research, but it's kind of hard to tell, so I'm just guessing a lot of this. So he's looking for help. He's like, trouble's going on. I've noticed that, we've got human people sort of like all dead and stuff. How did they die? We've got to deal with this issue, but deal with it the right way. And King Rin is just like, kill them all. So there's the scene where the orcs gank the humans in the forest, and I had to pause it at the moment where the main orc jumps down, and you'll notice he's the native orc, the brown skin, as opposed to the green orcs that he's leading. So this has got to be Black Hand, because even though it says in the cast and crew that Grommash is in it, I can't tell where he is. I don't remember seeing Grommash in this movie, or in the trailer at least. So I don't know how big a part he plays. He must play a smaller part because he's further down. So this has got to be Clancy Brown who's playing Black Hand, surely, I imagine. Otherwise he looks like potentially Grommash, but the huge beard is probably got to be Black Hand. So he comes down and he's probably all like, well, Gul'dan obviously leads, Gul'dan alongside Medivh, who is the traitor human, but not really his own fault. He's manipulated by Sargeras, and that's a whole other story. Basically, the Burning Legion influenced both Gul'dan and Medivh to create the portal, invade the humans, and Black Hand is kind of like Gul'dan's right-hand man, even though he's technically the war chief of the Orcish clans. It's kind of Gul'dan that's controlling it. So Gul'dan sends Black Hand to basically obviously go and lead the siege against the humans. So you can see Black Hand is basically kicking these humans' asses. So he's got a problem with the humans and he wants to take care of them. And that whole scene is pretty freaking awesome. They all look as they should do, the orcs there. And you've obviously got Lothar sort of like afterwards saying, what's going on here? This is pretty messed up. And then we get to the John Carter bit afterwards, which is sort of showing off Draenor and how terrible it looks and why they need to get out of there. And then you get to the other scene past that point where you can see Orgrimmar and or Orgrim, I suppose, and well, Toby Kebbell, isn't it? Who's playing? Oh my goodness, Durotan. There we go. And they're trying to lead the Frostwolf clan, the good orcs, basically. Look at it that way, the good orcs, to sort of like, good times. And they're outside. Oh, it's not Goldshire. Westfall. It looks like Westfall to me. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, because you're going to get quite a few little Easter eggs through this movie. I mean, you've got to go and see this movie for sure, regardless, because you're going to get such a treat if you're a Warcraft fan. I mean, you can see the Harvest Golem in there, so that's a nice little treat. And they're looking at the place and they're like, well, this could be our home too. But we don't obviously want to, kill the humans. We want to sort of find a way to live together. And then he's in the hut talking to his wife, Draka, with the baby green Jesus. That is Thrall. And they're probably discussing the issue that, well, how are we supposed to save our child in this kind of hospitable world and all of that. So then we get over to the scene where the humans are all like, well, these orcs, we've got to deal with them. Then you got Bad Orc, and he's like, I'm full of electricity, and I'm going to basically, lightning bolt you to death. If they're like the old school shaman from World of Warcraft, where I'm talking like Burning Crusade style, where all they did was cast lightning bolt one after the other, then that's probably what you're going to see in the movie. Just a shaman just standing in the background, just going, the animation of him throwing lightning bolts, almost like Hadouken style, just every 1.5 seconds. You might get the reference. So, we got Garona. She's like Gul'dan's henchman to a degree, but she clearly, from what we can see in the movie, hangs around with the humans a lot. So she's conflicted whether to help the humans or to stay with the orcs, and that's going to be basically the love story interest, I imagine, for this scene. Because every movie, even a Warcraft movie, is probably going to have, you know, a love interest, a love scene, and all that kind of stuff. Don't know how detailed the love scene's going to be, but depends what their CGI is up to scratch. So you got Orgrim, sort of like, you know, he wants to basically help as well. He wants a better future as well, but he doesn't know whether it can be achieved. Whereas Durotan is like, well, we've got to work with the humans. And you'll notice that when Durotan meets up with the humans, he's, well, Lothar, isn't it? It looks like Lothar. I want to see. He just says he wants to help him, but basically the humans are with Garona there, so that's interesting. Why they're meeting there and why Garona's with them. And then that's got to be a griffin flying up into the clouds to Dalaran, so that maybe is where you might get to see Khadgar, because, you know, Khadgar, Mage, Dalaran, it all goes together. And then we see we see them run through the forest, not much information there. The humans being sort of racist against the orcs, you know, they're all beasts, got to kill them. Now, the orc, if you pause it here, that throws the horse, very impressive indeed, has got to be, again, Blackhand. We're just going to assume this is Blackhand and this isn't Grommash Hellscream, because I don't know where Grommash is in this movie. Because this is Blackhand, right? And he chucks a horse. He's just showing again that he wants to kill the humans. So you got pretty much a sort of like linear character model there. But he was kind of that way anyway with the Warcraft. He wasn't supposed to be sort of like a, you know, multi-sided in terms of his personality and his agendas. So then we've got the orcs in the snow. I'm not sure where that sort of like tallies up to any part in Warcraft 1. So I'm interested in that scene. It only shows you a small clip, but I'm not sure why they're in the snow there. And then, oh, I've got a really good pause here. Make sure you pause when Durotan is going to punch Gul'dan, because that is definitely Gul'dan. I've managed to get the pause. It's really hard to pause it at the right moment, but you can see his glowing green eyes. Really distinctive Gul'dan property there. And this has to be Gul'dan because of his back. He always has those spikes in his back, at least in the latest World of Warcraft model. So they've obviously adhered to that, and that has to be Gul'dan, because Gul'dan's the guy that's like manipulating the orcs, and obviously Durotan's pissed off with Gul'dan, which is why they're having this little like battle between the two of them. So that's really cool to see, because Gul'dan's like the manipulator. All he wants is power, and he will stop at nothing to get it. And obviously Durotan's like the good guy. He just wants people to be sort of like alright and happy. So they're obviously going to conflict a little bit, which is cool to see. Especially a little fisticuff fight. I didn't expect that from Gul'dan. I suppose he's a slightly younger model of Gul'dan, because he's pretty damn old in the Warcraft games, where he's always hunched over and barely able to walk with his walking stick. And check out the kill. One turn kill from Grommash Hellscream on Manaroth there. Not too shabby at all. See you later, Manaroth. I do love that guy, to be honest. I can't wait to see him. I really do hope that this movie franchise is successful, so that we can actually get to the point where we get to see Manaroth. Ah, that'd be so good. I said it to Praki the other day. I just want to see Manaroth in Warcraft 1. I just want to see him all over the place. I don't even care. Even in the human citadel, or even Dalaran, just chilling out. Okay, back to the movie. So we've got more love story stuff, and then there's this scene where they raise the swords and all the humans are sort of like cheering, and that dude on the left with the red robe and the bald head could be no one, or he could be Khadgar, because otherwise I don't know who Khadgar is in this. Maybe the guy at the start where Lothar's going up the stairs and he's going to that really sort of like magey looking tower, and the guy in the robe has his arms held out. That's probably Khadgar, so it's the guy on the left there as well. I don't know how big a part Khadgar's going to play in this. I don't think he's going to be that big a part, so he could be obviously on the left-hand side there, or that could just be a prop dude. We don't know. And then we get back to more scenes of battles, which are looking good. The brown orcs versus the green orcs, and that moment there where he says you will fight against your own kind or something like that, Blackhand, because I've got it muted so that we don't conflict here. I'm going to show you a little screenshot in a moment, after this scene of Thrall being all upset about Well, there's going to be spoilers here if you've never played the Warcraft movie, I suppose. This is all cinematics from Warcraft 3. So yeah, Thrall's a bit upset there, but well done, Grommash. You did it all. You saved us all. So I'm just going to quickly show you here. Swapping over. Bring it up. Here we go. So you can see this, right? Check this dude out. That's Blackhand. That's got to be Blackhand. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's got to be Blackhand. How freaking awesome he looks. Like, I love a sort of a bad guy like this that brings out the protagonist and all of his emotions, and that's exactly what Blackhand's going to do. He's just going to be a badass, and he's really going to bring it out of. You're going to see so many emotions from Durotan, which is really impressive what they're trying to do. They're obviously trying to make it much more civil to a degree. Like, it's still war and all of that, but they're trying to make the orcs more humanistic, not human so to speak, but more humanistic. Like, they've got emotions and feelings too. And I don't want to get all icky here, but it's like it gives you something as a viewer to sort of like really cling on to and get attached to, and that's what a movie like this needs. It can't just be all, oh, I hate you and I hate you, says the other guy, and that's it. They're just sword fighting the whole time, axe and sword fighting. That doesn't draw you in, whereas this will draw you in. So anyway, has anyone seen Highlander 3, The Sorcerer? It's a bad movie, but I watch it for film sack, and here we go. Have a look. The bad guy in that, called Kane, you might see some similarities. Not quite a thickish beard, but I couldn't help it. When I saw this bit, I just thought of this guy. Okay, he doesn't look exactly the same. He's got to have a much thicker beard and all that, but he's got this kind of same sort of like dead eye look. And I don't know, it's just a little thing I noticed there. Anyway, back to the cinematics whilst I discuss a little bit further with you guys. So let's bring this over. Let's put this back on and press that play, and then see what we get next. I think it's going to be Dalaran going down, so if you don't want any spoilers about that, although I just told you, yeah, you might get some. So, anyway, what was I saying? Let's continue. So the official trailer, more reactions. We got a nice little fight scene between the orcs and the humans. Just more struggle. Then Draka sending off baby Jesus, Thrall, into the water, as you can see. And that's probably Durotan just about catching up with her, or one of the bad orcs trying to catch up with her and stopping her from, because they probably want to keep every single baby, don't they, and breed them for war, whereas she doesn't want her child to be bred for war. That's got to obviously be the reason why she's doing that, as Archimon ponders my thoughts. So then we've got more discussions between the humans, sort of like, oh, we've got to deal with this orc problem. That's basically all King Lin's going to do. It's just going to be like, yeah, these orcs are a problem. Can I talk to anyone about it? Can I sit in a chair and discuss how we need to deal with this issue? It's basically what you're going to get from him. And then you've got Orgrim and Durotan just sort of like teaming up throughout it. And more battle scenes. So there's going to be a lot of different battle scenes, which is great, obviously, because that's what we want to see. That's what Warcraft's about. Jump on a griffin, as you do, and go into battle. So that's basically the Warcraft movie trailer and my initial thoughts. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I really want you guys to let me know what you think and how big a part do you think all of the characters are going to have? Because again, Grommash is supposed to be in this from what I've heard, but I don't know, according to some sources, and maybe I'm completely and utterly wrong and he's not, but Terry Notary is actually in it as Grommash Hellscream, chieftain of the Warsong clan, right? But Clancy Brown is Blackhand, a fearsome orcish chieftain, so we only see the one, from what I can tell, so we don't see the other. So how many chieftains do they have? Obviously, I have multiple chieftains if you ever play Warlord of Draenor, but anyway, it's something I'm a little bit confused on, so if you guys could really let me know, I would be most grateful for that and your opinions. So there you have it. Warcraft. It looks really freaking good, and I am very excited for the release. Obviously, it was pointed at... Actually, I need to bring this up. Actually, I'm going to bring up my email, because it lets me know when you guys make comments and discuss things with me. And I want to say that a certain Paul Stetler actually mentioned that I imagine the revamped games will coincide with the Warcraft movie. So if you saw yesterday's video that I made, is Warcraft back? Relating to the Blizzard recruiting a senior software engineer to basically revamp the classic games from what we can tell. So the classic games being Warcraft 1, 2, Diablo, StarCraft, and so on. So, yeah. This Warcraft movie is set to release in May or June 2016, from what I can tell. So that's interesting, because if Blizzard are recruiting now, they could probably get it polished and bring out the releases of those Warcraft 1 and 2 HD remakes, perhaps, for around this time. As well as Blizzard are obviously probably trying to get Warlords of Draenor. I haven't watched the entirety of BlizzCon. I've only watched a small part of it, so I might be wrong in some parts. But they're probably going to try and coincide the release of the movie Warcraft and the next World of Warcraft expansion. So there's probably going to be a lot of relational stuff there. So yeah, there you go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and had a lot of fun listening to my thoughts. This is more of a vlog style, and I probably will do a few more of these. So if you've got any ideas of what you want me to do, then feel free to let me know in the comments section below. Make sure to like the video and share it if you want others to hear about what you like. And I'm just going to leave you with one last thing, okay? After Archimonde's demise, we're going to come over here. We're going to do this, and we're going to do this. So, RMM451's Tumblr. I don't want to pimp it too much because he's got some dodgy stuff in there, but he did make this awesome piece of art that I just want to leave you with. Ready? Dun dun dun. So if you've seen the Warcraft movie sort of like poster art, that's the Warcraft 3 version of it, which is really cool. So I'm just going to go and bring that up. Warcraft 3 movie poster image. Surely it's going to bring it up here. No, you're not going to bring it up. Really? Warcraft 3 movie, that's why. My bad. Warcraft movie. There we go. Okay, now we're in business. So you got this to this. So, okay, guys, I hope you had fun. And make sure to like the video and stay tuned for the next one. I will see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.